This is a little background before we get started with number 1. Slope-intercept form is talking about lines. This equation right here, y equals mx plus b, is talking about a line where m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. We are now doing quadratic equations. Quadratics are going to be like they're called parabolas. It looks like a U or an N. And the standard form of a parabola is ax squared plus bx plus c. We're going to be using this formula a lot. Beginning with number 1, it says to graph on Desmos, what do you see? So you're going to go type these things in. It also says to graph y equals x minus 2 on Desmos, and what do we see? So I'm going to go type both of these in and highlight them. What is this? We can zoom in, we can zoom out, and we see that they look like lines, and in this case they are parallel lines. I'm going to hit my wrench in that top right corner. I'm going to get rid of my minor grid lines, and I'm going to change my step to count by ones for my x-axis and my y-axis, just so as I zoom in I can see those a little bit more clearly. So we're going to go back and we are going to click and drag, pop in those answers. What did we see? We saw a line, and that's this one down here. A line and a line. The next question says, what is the slope of the line above? So for x minus 2, we are going to count our slope. I'm going to just hide the red one so I can look at this one. Remember, our slope is rise over run. So if I want to start off with that one right there, how do I get to my next good dot, which would be, I don't know if it's going to let me do this, somewhere over here. I'm not on it perfectly, but you can see right in this area. How do I get there? I'm going to go again from this dot on my y-axis, and I'm going to go up 1 and over 1. A slope of 1 over 1 is just 1. So down here, I'm looking for a 1, just a plain 1, and it's fuzzy, but there it is. Here's my slope of 1. And if you'll notice right in here, if you know where your slope is, y equals mx plus b, you don't actually have to count your rise over your run. You would know that your slope, your m number, is the number right in front of that x whenever it is in slope-intercept form. And there was no number there, but I could put that 1. If these x plus 5 and x minus 2 are factors, factors means what we can multiply by. What is the quadratic equation? And it says help, FOIL. So I'm going to do just that, and I'm going to leave them like this so I don't have to rewrite, and I'm just going to pretend that they are side by side and that and isn't there, so that we have one parentheses next to the next to the other, and we're going to FOIL. So x times x is x squared. X times a negative 2 is negative 2x. Then I'm going to do my next one. I have a plus 5 times x. That's going to give me a positive 5x. And a positive 5 times a negative 2 is a negative 10. When you combine your like terms, you have x squared. Negative 2x and a positive 5x give you positive 3x's when you combine those like terms. And then we have minus 10. So that is supposed to be an answer that goes in a box. So let's go see if we can find that. We have x squared plus 3x, and then we need a negative 10. And it looks like it's this fuzzy guy right there is going to go into our box. And basically, again, it's just this with an equal 0 on the end. So that's what you're looking for. Typing the equation you just put in the box above, what do you see? So now we are going to type in, and I saved a box for this. Let me put my lines back. X squared plus 3x minus 10. What do I see? Well, I don't see a whole lot of anything because I moved it around. So I'm going to hit this house button so it pulls me back out. Oh, I see that green. And what is that shape again? It looks kind of like a U. That is called a parabola. So we're going to go back to our answer choices. And again, down here, it was green on our Desmos, so I'll make it green here. What do we see? Parabola. Parabola. We see a parabola. And then it says type. And this is what it would look like if we actually wrote it the correct way above, to where there's no word in the middle. Type it into Desmos. What we're doing right now is we're checking, does this equal that? Did we do it right when we multiplied, when we did our foiling, multiplying binomials? So let's go back to Desmos. And I already typed that in, and now it's purple. And as you can see, that purple covered up the green. And I'm checking to see if I did it right, to see if they were equal. And because they are in the same place, yes, they are equal. That means I did it right. I FOILed correctly. Where do both lines cross the parabola? So let's take a peek. Both lines are crossing the parabola right here and right here. So the red line crosses and the blue line crosses at a common place, and that common place is our x-axis, our horizontal axis. That's what that question is trying to get you to answer. So right here, I believe, here it is, x-axis. They both cross on that x-axis. You can look at the graph or solve to find the zeros. So if x plus 5, let's do this one over here. X plus 5 equals 0. When we solve that, we do minus 5 on both sides. These zero out, and so we get x equals a negative 5. So we need one with a negative 5 in it, so it's going to be this one right here. But I'm going to go ahead and show you on the graph how I can do it without solving the equation, and then we're also going to solve the equation and look at the graph for the next one. So here we go. X minus 2 equals 0, and I'm setting it equal to 0 and solving it. How do we get rid of a minus 2? The opposite of minus 2 is plus 2. And so we have x equals 2. And that's this other number right here. So we have a in braces, negative 5, and a positive 2. So that's how you would do it by hand. Now, if you just typed them in like we've been doing, all you really need to do is look at your graph and where it crosses that x-axis. You can see, this one right here, I'm going to blink it off and on so you can see it, is a negative 5. And this one over here that's blinking off and on now is your positive 2. So without solving it by hand, you can look at your graph and you can find those zeros, those solutions, those x-intercepts. And that is how you do number 1.